government in Vancouver and all of North America has to, I think, take some responsibility for having really participated and in some cases advanced, taken the lead in some very racist acts in this city. And in 1907, there had been a situation in Bellingham where some East Indian woodworkers had been basically chased out of town by a white supremacist group who thought that these people were a threat to their jobs, that they were going to take lower wages, that they were going to accept more unsafe work, and that they would deteriorate the labor situation that the white workers had been able to achieve. And the same was true here in Vancouver. So after the news got to Vancouver about the situation in Bellingham, where they had successfully chased these people out of town, the decision was made to do something similar here in Vancouver. And the Anti-Asiatic League, which was led by labor leaders in Vancouver, along with business people, had a decision to do a march and protest through Chinatown and Powell Street, the Japanese area of town. And it ended up with them busting every shop and home window as they went, attacking people, anybody who they came across on the street they attacked and beat up. And they also, on that same day, went to City Hall, which was on East Hastings at the time, and burned an effigy of Dunsmuir, which I think is pretty interesting because Dunsmuir, who was the owner of all of the coal mines in Vancouver Island and was known as being terribly exploiting workers, also partly did it by hiring Japanese and Chinese workers at a third of the cost. And of course that then created tensions between the workers. And so because Dunsmuir was using Japanese and Chinese workers, the white workers burned him in effigy to sort of put his name in mud. So, you know, we still have Dunsmuir Street, and it's still a very prominent name in the city. But the mine workers, or the Japanese mill workers, they formed their own union because they were not accepted into any of the mainstream white-dominated unions. They were prohibited from joining, so they set up their own union. But then the Labour Council, which I'm now involved with, was the first organization who was willing to accept them into a Labour Central, into a larger organization. So the photographs that I'm circulating show not just the situation for the Japanese workers, but kind of represent, I think, a lot of the different, both work that was done by Japanese and Chinese workers, but also evidence of the discrimination that was so prominent. And I would have to say is still prominent in far too many ways in our society. So.